Hey guys, it's Dr. Carl Baird at Evolve Performance Healthcare. Today we're going to talk about some of the best exercises you can do for low back pain after a car or auto accident. Now, low back pain is one of the more common symptoms that arises after a car accident. Again, just from that jolt coming forward and back, it's part of that whiplash complex. And so we want to give you a few exercises that you can start with, again, just to get the healing process started. So the very first exercise we're going to go over are called Pelvic Rocks. And the goal with these is to, again, just get motion in that lumbar spine to speed the healing process and help decrease pain a little bit. So to do the Pelvic Rocks, we're just going to lay on our back with our knees bent and feet flat on the floor. And so what we should have is this natural arch in our low back as we lay on the ground. To roll our pelvis backwards, all we're going to do is flatten that arch. And then we're going to do the opposite to roll it forward, which is over-exaggerate that arch. Now, the main thing to keep in mind here is that we're keeping it within a pain-free range. So again, it doesn't need to be a lot of movement. And we don't want to take it to end range where, again, we might have some pain. So really just back and forth, light movement, get some blood flow to the area, and again, help decrease pain. Now, there's 3 more exercises, and these are just good anytime you have low back pain. They're described as the non-negotiable exercises for low back pain, and the goal is to, again, protect that lumbar spine by strengthening all the muscles surrounding it while placing a minimal load on the spine itself. So exercise number 1 is called the curl up, and it's going to be activating our rectus abdominis or front core musculature. To perform, we're going to start on our back with one knee bent, hands underneath that arch in the low back. And to perform, we're going to raise our elbows up off the ground and then raise our head and shoulder blades up off the ground. So what it'll look like is this, and we're going to do a 10-second hold. Now, the most common mistake people have when they're doing this exercise is too much flexion of the neck and spine. So it's not rolling up like this. This is too much flexion in the spine, which isn't good in the initial stages. It just causes and increases pain. So really trying to keep that neck neutral as much as we can and holding 10 seconds there. All right. Now, the next exercise is for deeper core stabilizers. It's the side bridge, which is an exercise you're probably familiar with, but really good when you're recovering from low back pain because, again, strengthen deep spinal stabilizers while placing minimal load on the spine. So we're going to start on our knees. Again, you're acute after a car accident, so we want to make sure we're not aggravating anything. So to perform, we're going to do elbow under the shoulder, knees stacked, and we're just going to come up. And we're going to do 10-second holds, making sure the body's in line, making sure our shoulders are stacked so we're not rotating forward or rotating back, which is going to put more stress on the spine. So that's the second of the non-negotiable exercises. And the last one is called the bird dog. So again, this is strengthening the posterior aspect of our core while placing minimal load on the spine. So for that, we're going to be in a quadruped position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and we can start by just raising one arm up and the opposite leg back. And then you can do the same thing other side, left arm up, right leg back. Once you feel comfortable with that, then we can do both at the same time. So what that looks like, right arm, left leg back, and we're doing 10-second holds here, and relax. Repeat the other side, 10-second holds. So the key here and thing we want to watch out for is, again, that when we're doing this, we're really paying attention to keeping our core tight so that what happens when we do this, a lot of times people will arch at the low back if their core isn't tight there. So before we get started, really tuck that rib cage, keep the core tight, and then start. And the other thing has to do with our legs. So when we're reaching back, we really want to reach back towards the wall. We're not reaching towards the ceiling. So the difference is reaching back versus reaching up. So if we reach too high, you can see my pelvis kind of starts to rotate there, which again, if we have those injured joints after a car accident, that's going to aggravate them a little bit. So those are 4 exercises to get you started, helping with, again, recover from low back pain after a car accident.